Hello, superfans. Welcome to Alberta News and Views and the Alberta Report podcast on YouTube. From Mark Carney, Prime Minister Carnage Carney. It's our country, it's your future, and we are going to give it back to you. This is hilarious coming from Mark Carney. It's your future, and we are going to give it back. Yeah, because you guys are the ones that stole it. And now you're saying you are going to give it back. This right here is a sneak peek into his disaster budget that is going to drop tomorrow. Check this out.
It's our country. It's your future. And we are going to give it back to you. For decades, Canada's economy became more closely linked to the United States. The U.S. is the world's largest economy, so on the one hand, that created tons of new business and jobs for us. But it also meant that when things change suddenly for the worse down there, it causes big problems up here. And it's hard to control what happens next. As Prime Minister, my number one focus is to put Canadians back in control by building here at home and building new partnerships abroad so that we're not reliant on the United States. To do that, we will have to make some difficult choices, responsible choices. Federal government spending has grown massively over the last few years. That's not sustainable. We will cut wasteful government spending. We'll make massive investments in the things that grow our economy. Homes, new ports, electricity grids, the major infrastructure that will unlock the full potential of Canada. We've built big before. In the 1950s, Canada set out to build the St. Lawrence Seaway. It cost us the equivalent of about $4 billion in today's money. Since then, the Seaway has shipped more than $1 trillion worth of cargo to the world. Tens of thousands of Canadians, trade workers, business owners, and their employees have gone to work every day because of that Seaway. We're going to build big things again. When we do, we're going to use Canadian steel, Canadian aluminum, lumber, technology, and Canadian workers to do it. Only 40% of the steel bought here in Canada is made here in Canada. We'll change that. We'll be our own best customer, and we're going to sell to the world. Yes, we'll keep trading with the U.S., but we will double what we export to everywhere else. We'll make generational investments to protect our communities, our borders, our way of life.
Yeah, right.
Investments to build a stronger economy where everyone has a chance to get ahead. And investments to empower Canadians with new opportunities, better careers, and a lower cost of living. It's time to take control of our future, bet big on ourselves, and play to win.
We shouldn't be betting with our children's future. All of this would work. Absolutely. All of this would work if this was 70 years ago. The demographics of Canada have drastically changed. The workforce in Canada has drastically changed. Taxes in Canada have drastically changed. These are the main reasons right here why it won't work. And we all know them to be true if you've been paying attention. Number one, bureaucratic red tape and lengthy approval process. Canada's regulatory framework, particularly environmental assessments, is notoriously complex and time-consuming, often taking years longer than in competitor nations like the United States. You can't just change that overnight. It is the blob. We have systemic corruption. You just can't decide or say you're going to get rid of it. It's there. You got to make big changes like Western independence. That's how you overcome the blob. Number two, massive infrastructure deficit and funding shortages. Canada's infrastructure is old, aging, decrepit, and collapsing. And it's a tax-sucking black pit of... it's a vortex. It is a black hole taxpayer sucking vortex that goes nowhere. All you have to do is look at the infrastructure in your towns and cities to know this. Everybody says, where the fuck are my taxes going? The infrastructure cannot support the projects that they want to build. With an estimated $270 billion gap in core public infrastructure, roads, bridges, water systems, transit, governments are stretched thin. Federal budget deficits limit direct spending, while municipalities are responsible for over 60% of assets, receive only 8 to 10% of tax dollars, forcing reliance on debt or incomplete projects. You know, this reminds me of Calgary when the water mains broke And everybody got to see firsthand just how much that city has aged and how the city, Naheed Nenshi, pissed away hundreds of millions of dollars for nothing instead of using it for upgrades and infrastructure. This is what I'm talking about. They're all part of the blob. Number 3, inadequate governance and project management. Everybody in Canada is incompetent. All the chiefs at the top. They're all incompetent. Poorly designed oversight. Who does what, when, and how leads to scope creep, cost overruns, and failures. Mega projects often lack integrated frameworks from planning to execution, exacerbating delays. The world knows now that Canada is all talk, thanks to Justin Trudeau. They talk, and say they're going to build, and do all of these things, and nothing ever comes of it because they just don't know how. This government spends the most. They spend billions, bazillions of dollars on contractors and consultants to do their jobs for them because they legitimately, literally don't know how to do their jobs. Number 4, Indigenous consultation and social license challenges. The natives. Look what's happening in British Columbia right now. There's a full-on panic for land rights and property rights. You think business is going to want to have to deal with that? Legal requirements for Indigenous engagement are essential for reconciliation, but often mishandled, leading to court challenges, protests, or redesigns that add years and cost. Businesses fear legal setbacks if consultations are superficial. The people just don't have to do business here. They just don't have to build here. There are other options. Number 5, economic volatility and market risks. Global uncertainties, trade tensions, commodity price swings, and U.S. policy shifts, potential changes to Inflation Reduction Act, deter investment, labor shortages, and inflation further inflate costs. It costs a lot of money to build stuff in Canada because Canada doesn't manufacture or build stuff. We don't have a lot of material, so we have to import it. So it costs. You can't just change that overnight. It takes a long time, which is why Mark Carney is saying you guys need to hunker down. It's going to be generational investments. When this government says generational investments, he actually means bailouts. This is going to be a massive, massive bailout. Glencore to close Canada's largest copper operations over costs. This is brand spanking new, November 3rd. Copper, the price of copper is on the rise. Canada is closing because of environmental upgrades and because of costs. It's that simple. The Liberals are canceling Trudeau's era plan to plant 2 billion trees. Everything they say, nothing comes to fruition. They are all talk. And Canadians should be sick and tired of it by now. What's it going to take? All roads lead to Western independence. I will keep you updated with as much as I can when I can. All of you out there, like, share, and take care.